Blue-Red Delver versus Jeskai Control. I think Delver wants to be on the play here, right?
Yeah, Delver
Yeah.
Delver can play a control game when it needs to, but it is not going to out control this deck at all.
That's sort of what I was thinking. Is like you can't out control.
So, yep, Delver definitely wants to be the aggressor. It is not very often that being on the draw is correct, but Jeskai Control never upset to be on the draw.
Right. Man, is this deck's not on like Sphinx Rev or anything, right?
No, absolutely not.
That's too bad.
Nope.
Man, I love Sphinx Rev.
Brainstorms, Ponders, Fairy Masterminds, spells? Prismatic Ending, Swords to Plowshares, Narset, Parter of Veils.
Hey, tourney's next weekend.
Force of Wills, Force of Negations.
Wait, what's next weekend is
the tournament. Which tournament? Yeah. The Canadian Highlander tournament.
That's the week after.
That's on the 20th.
Yeah,
and then the OCM Modern tournament is on the 27th.
That's gonna be sweet. Like just solid Modern. It's a 1K, and usually sells out. And the nice part is everybody that comes to those tend to want to play it out. So even like on a split, you see a lot of just really good Magic. And luckily having the stream going, people just tend to play it out anyway.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean play it out? You mean like the top 8 split?
Yeah.
You always play it out, even if you split the prize.
No. I mean like not the... Like if it's as... What am I trying to get at here? Like even if...
lost me.
Even if there's like a intentional draw, like earlier in the round, like an ID, a lot of times they'll just play it. They'll play two.
I don't understand. I don't understand how that affects the stream.
Like if they're on, I guess if they're on stream, we're not gonna have an ID on, but you know what I mean,
right? We're not just gonna sit there and watch the table be empty. We'll put
something. No. But I've seen people like ID and then still play.
Oh, okay, yeah, people do that all the time.
Yeah, that's that. Like most people that go like that will play in this Modern event, they want to play games, and so like even if they ID for like to be in top 8, they'll still play the game.
Unfortunately, it appears that Jeskai is using some extremely reflective sleeves.
Well, I'd say the majority of its deck is white. I recognize the island art on the left there.
Yes, that is a beta island.
That is a beta island.
This is big time. Yikes! You know what these are? These are Dragon Shield matte non-glare sleeves, and they glare so bad.
The irony. It's not even that they glare. They like the anti-glare coating on it makes it impossible to see on camera. Like
so that was a brainstorm. A flooded strand is going to go to the graveyard now.
Okay, so now we have context. We've got a flooded strand.
Yeah, like as he picks it up, I can get a glimpse of the card. Don't blink.
We'll keep everybody in the loop on our cards, our sweet card tech.
Yikes.
Which is watching the cards intently as they are picked up by the player.
Look, there's a land in play. I have no idea what it is.
This is sort of ideal for control, right? Like nobody's done anything the first couple turns. There's no big threats in play.
Just taking his time. That's a ponder.
Yeah, if Blue or Delver had like unloaded a Ragavan, or not a Ragavan, obviously.
Ragavan's banned in Legacy.
Yeah, I was thinking DRC or a Delver, like that sort of, your heart starts pumping a little bit. You're like, oh no, this thing's gonna start hurting me a lot.
Nah, we have removal spells.
Yeah, but you have to spend a removal spell.
I'm just excited to see Fairy Mastermind in action.
Right.
To be honest.
TBH. I also like the idea of a house full of modern players because it's like I hope at least that there's not as many rhinos. Which isn't to say rhinos.
So this is a predict. I really like what happened there. At the end of his turn, he bobbled himself to see what was on top of his deck. And then he predicted, put the card in the graveyard, and got to cash in that predict for 2 cards. So
he mised.
Who needs expressive iteration?
When you can mise. How would I have known? Predict all-star card in Dan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's just like the weirdest blue spells in Dan. Predict is one of them. Also, beautiful Rebecca Gay art.
Yeah, I love the art on this card.
Holy moly!
I have cast this more than once in Canadian Highlander, just so you know.
I'm not surprised by that, especially with the amount of. With the amount of like brainstorms and like.
What, sleepy boy?
I am sleepy boy.
It is sleepy boy.
It's almost 9 o'clock, man. I've been up since early. I got my okay. Small sidetrack, and this is exciting for me, is I've been working on my lending authority for level C delegation at work for a very long time. And I know that doesn't mean anything to anybody, but I finally got my last case in today. And it passed successfully. So
congratulations.
It is a big deal for me.
Murktide region gonna hit the board for Delver.
Mm-hmm. Is it Murktide no +1/+1 counters, or did it get a couple? It got like 1.
I don't see any +1/+1 counters on it.
It's over the dragon creature type.
Oh, he's using a clear dice.
Yeah. No, gotcha. It's white. Which is almost as bad.
Swords to Plowshare is going to take out this Murktide Regent.
Correct. That is the correct move. Swords to Plowshares, man. I'm glad that still sees play. The fact that like Path doesn't see play in Modern as much anymore sort of makes me sad. But seeing Swords see play in Legacy still, you're like, oh right, I love this format. Sick. 1 mana, get no additional board state. Gain some life. That's largely irrelevant. And we got a Delver coming in. And a DRC. This is excellent for Delver.
Yep. Got two threats committed to the board now. I don't know.
Start over DRC.
I don't know the exact 75 that we're playing here, but I would imagine if there's any sort of wrath, like a Supreme Verdict or something, we might have 1 copy in the sideboard at most. A lot of the times we're just looking to get up on cards, and then we can use our removal spells to take them down. So Prismatic Ending is going to get pointed to the Dragon's Rage Channeler, which is going to go away.
Smart.
Here is a Brainstorm.
I like Prismatic Ending in these these hyper efficient mana formats where like everything is 1 or 2 mana.
Yeah. So Prismatic Ending is like Swords to Plowshares plus, right?
It takes care of any permanent. It's so good. Like take care of their, if they've got the cojones and playing a Tarmogoyf for their Stoneforge Mystic or whatever, like it's just gonna take care of it. Like it's fine.
Delver of Secrets gonna come across here for 3, taking Jeskai down to 15.
Get rid of their GK.
Gonna pass back to Jeskai.
We're at 15 and 22, it looks like.
Yep, that's what I have wrote down. So just a little disclaimer, if you're playing in one of our tournaments, please use the companion app or a similar app to track your life total. It makes our job a whole lot easier.
Just while you're on stream.
That being said, I am doing my best to keep track of their life totals over here. So I have 15 to 22.
We're working hard for you. Tracking your life like we ought to do.
Oh, rhyming.
I try my best with no success. Well, if this is sort of rough for the Delver deck, having spent its graveyard on that Murktide, we got.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think Delver is in bad shape right now.
You don't think it's in? No. It's not in bad shape. It's just like it feels
so
bad.
A little bit of a counter war here. We have a Spell Pierce getting Spell Pierced, and then a daze on the Spell Pierce.
Sick.
So this will go in favor of Delver here. Going to come across for 6 damage. Jeskai down to just 9 life now.
Sick. Like
a Chain Lightning going to take him to 6.
Or 3.
A Lightning Bolt going to take him to 3. And another Lightning Bolt representing lethal. Does Jeskai have an answer?
Has the ability to pick up its cards and shuffle. It sucks because, like, they're on 3 right now, and either they counter this or they die next turn because they've got 2 3-powered flyers across from them.
Right. Really, really just testing.
Yeah.
Testing Jeskai's ability to keep up with this pace. Delver has played 0 mana spells, 1 mana spells all game long. And here he flashed a Force of Negation. Let's see.
He has to.
Well, it's possible he has another card in his hand that could interact with this. So
Right.
the last Lightning Bolt's going to go away. We're going to go back to Jeskai here. Maybe a Swords to Plowshares from his Snapcaster Mage could gain him a little life.
Yeah. Like,
no, Swords to Plowshares would most certainly be better if it's played at one of those
Teferi.
ranger spells. Here's a Teferi Time Raveler going to come down.
Is it too little too late, though?
I would imagine put the Insectile Aberration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to put the bounce spell back in his hand.
So,
yeah.
Jeskai going to draw a card. I
feel all the tension on this
I
side
like
of Jeskai right
I
now.
like getting in with this Snapcaster Mage here.
Yeah, once you've dealt with the threats, you
Swords to
kinda have to be
Plowshares
dead.
is going to take out that
Yeah.
Brazen Borrower. Going to put Delver
We're in
up
a
to
good position
25 life. And it looks like a concession.
What do we sideboard in?
Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what happens in game.
Are we sideboarding in blue elemental blast and red
game
elemental
2?
blast?
Yeah, we are. 100%.
That's
It's much
funny.
more. It's much more efficient than. Okay, so in these like blue counter spell mirrors, going down cards for Force of Will usually pretty bad. So typically it's some configuration of we'll cut some number of Force of Wills, we'll cut some number of Force of Negations. If we're on the draw, we will cut some number of dazes. And we will replace those simply with blue elemental blast and red elemental blast because it's just much more efficient.
Makes me wonder if Jeskai is cutting some of its white removal for those, because they have access to red and blue, right, in the same way that Delver does.
Yep.
And white is sort of probably the splash color, right? It's generally a blue deck, or is red the splash color?
Delver?
Yeah,
or
no,
Jeskai. It's red is the splash color.
Okay, so
I believe he's splashing red strictly for sideboard cards.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the main deck is just blue white, and then he has
not even Comet.
He has no, absolutely not.
Comet Stellar Puff.
It's all 1 and 2 mana spells.
Okay, so not even.
And then
my Sculpture.
No. And then you have Narset, Parter Veils, and Teferi Time Raveler.
Interesting.
And then sideboard, he's got Wear and Tear. He's got Red Elemental Blast, Pyroblast. It's fundamentally a blue-white deck, though. Yes, here's a Fairy Mastermind on Delver's instead.
Ooh, baby. This is
in
gonna
response.
hamstring.
It's actually in response to a brainstorm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's hamstringing all of his future brainstorms and this one too. Ooh, it's the Ice Age brainstorm too. No, not Ice Age. That's
that's
is that Ice Age? Okay,
yes. That's my favorite. That's my favorite brainstorm.
I was thinking for some reason I second guessed myself, and I was thinking about the lady that's casting spell, and that's the Ice Age counter spell.
Yes,
and in my mind they just got confused. What's my favorite brainstorm?
The lady with the fingers.
Go on. What sets it from?
Mercadian Masks.
That's correct. Deter Lizzie is the artist. I think his still life paintings are incredible. What's my favorite dark ritual?
I think it's Ice Age, but it's the one with the clouds. It's the one with the purple cloud.
Mercadian Masks again.
Oh, okay.
It is. It's both. Like it's Rebecca Gay.
Yeah, I could see the art in my head. I just didn't know what set it was from.
Yeah. Yours is probably the original deep Dark Ritual, right? The
Oh,
cloaked
100,
figure.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very on brand for you.
Super on brand. It's my favorite cosplay. When a cosplay
Yeah.
is, I cosplay as Dark Ritual every day of my life.
Yeah. Hoodie on. Hoodie on. Go to work. I make black mana. It's better than cosplay as a demonic tutor. Just got your book.
And my
Hey guys,
huge shoulders.
you guys want to learn some spells?
He's like the most he's like Beast from X-Men.
Yeah.
Like the most intimidating figure that you have ever seen in your life. Giant blue guy with hair all over his body and humongous muscles.
He's just
The
like,
dude is basically a walking refrigerator.
yeah.
And he's like, let me tell you about string theory.
Yeah. Andre the Giant teaching a physics class.
Sag.
Does anybody want particle physics?
Oh man.
Good content. Talk about magic. So yeah, all right. So you see their Jeskai control using the correct brainstorm.
Come on, man.
The Terra Lizzie.
It's the lady with balls and fingers. She's thinking too hard.
That's actually the Terra Lizzie's wife who modeled for that photo. Who
So
modeled for that art.
all 4 Dragon's Rage channelers are gone now. Well, there's the one still in play.
Yeah, but 2 are exiled now.
And one in the graveyard.
All right, so speaking of Terra Lizzie art, you want to hear one of my big annoyances?
What?
Is that there's a Nether Shadow Terra Lizzie art that is only available in white border.
What's wrong with that? I love a white bordered card.
Yeah, that's the one I play. Like everybody else, like they did the original Nether Shadow sucks. I don't care for that art.
It's just like a gray swatch.
Yeah, this sucks. Look at the Terra Lizzie Nether Shadow. It's
So that is, hang on,
I believe it's 4th edition.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Look at the dude. He's got a little.
It is very dope.
And the guy, he's just like, hey guy, I've got some ice cream over here.
He looks like the Grinch.
Yeah, very much. And like, okay, so Terra Lizzie, who did this art in the brainstorm and whatever, he released this booklet of all the people that modeled for all of his art, and it's just people in like the wackiest things and
right.
like different clothes and stuff.
Yes. I need to pick up a copy of that for my collection of weird books to put on my coffee table.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Bizarro. So we have a Narset in here.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and brainstorm on top. Like, oh, I guess we're not casting that. Jeskai has a lot of ways to punish you for
that is
cards.
That is kind of the whole point.
Yeah. You can technically cast brainstorm on your opponent's turn and draw 1 card and then put 2 cards back. Hull Breacher doesn't get play in Legacy though, does it?
I don't think so.
No, that's too bad. It's such a good card. We play it in Canadian Highlander. Casting in response to a seasoned Pyromancer feels pretty good.
Here's a Murktide Regent.
That's a good card. Sort of a required answer threat. I wonder if this is one of the cards where your answer gets decidedly more effective with blue elemental blast.
Yes.
Or hydro blast, I guess. Where you just get to hydro it for 1. I guess we're pitching force. That's just the woof.
falling behind very quickly, right?
Yeah. Forcing a force. Yeah, that's a big beater now. We got a 6/6 flyer on the Delver's side. It's funny that we released like Modern Horizons 2 has all these cards that are super good in Modern and like really interesting and changed the format a lot. And in Legacy, it's like, here's a bunch of free spells, and oh, blue red is just getting absolute bangers. You want a DRC? You want a dragon?
They are the two best colors in Magic.
That's, I mean, I just don't like playing blue. I found that I'm bad at it, as it turns out. Like I don't know if it's an experience thing or what. I just never played it for so long. And picking it up recently.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, there's the swords.
And a handshake.
That's it.
So
yeah.
Blue-Red Delver is going to be able to take this one down into...
Little too late. We got the Delver flip. The banning of Ragavan does make me happy in that we get to see actual Delver back in action. Like Delver of Secrets flipping into Insectile Apparition just feels good. Feels classic.
Yeah, Ragavan didn't make it very long in Legacy.
Rightly so.
A little bit too good of a
threat.
One mana threat.
Yeah, especially with the hyper efficient backup, like counter backup.
So,
hey, that's 2 games. It's 2 matches.
That's 2 games.